Well, hey there. Good morning, Brickheads. Hope you're having a great day out there. Welcome to a Wild Card Wednesday. It is a set review Wednesday, and I am really excited for this Wednesday because back by popular demand, or at least my demands.
Was it popular?
I have brought back the one, the only, my brother, Mike. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. It should be noted before he sends you hate mail. I am not your only brother. I am the one and only. I'm the one true brother. How about that?
There is another brother out there, but to be fair, he doesn't own any Lego sets, so I guess,
Tough luck.
Sorry, Dave.
Level up.
But before we get into it, I do just want to say thank you so much for tuning into the podcast. Whether you are tuning in on your favorite podcast platform, or maybe you're a visual person, you like checking it out on the YouTube page. I will say today was an interesting one always with set reviews. Sometimes YouTube's a little bit more fun, but we're going to do our best to be very descriptive, let you know our thoughts on the set we're talking about today, which is none other than set 76218, the Marvel's Sanctum Sanctorum. And this is a really good set. Mike, you got that one on the Aftermarket, right?
I did.
Yeah.
Sadly enough, I did not have enough foresight to get it when it was on the actual market. We can get into that in a little bit.
Yeah.
I want to dive into the specs.
I will, actually. I would say this set was released back in August of 2022 and actually had a decent shelf life, but a little shorter than a usual shelf life for a Lego set. It was retired in December of 2024, which honestly hasn't skyrocketed prices, but it's definitely more expensive on the aftermarket. We'll talk about 6-month averages and all that, but here's how we roll in a set review. We're going to go over just the basic specs that you would need to know. We're going to talk about the set. I'm going to get Mike's take on it because I don't own this set. He's the guy who built it. He is the one who's got all the minifigures displayed how he likes, and so he can give us all the critical details that we need to, at the end, then give us a set review rating, which is based on always 4 things, and that is the playability, the displayability, the build experience, and its value, which gives us an overall rating and lets you know if we think you should go out and get this set on the aftermarket. So, should we get into it?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. First off, it's a pretty big set, 2,708 pieces. Tell us, why don't you just get into the build experience and just talk about, the building itself. Let's talk about the building, then maybe get into the minifigures. How's that sound?
Sounds great.
All right.
So, for those of you who watched the previous one I was on, I went through Avengers Tower. Thanks for watching.
We're gonna. Hey, you know what I do? I'm gonna put a link in the description below. If you like Marvel sets, in the description will be a link to the video. The first.
I'm your dork for that.
Yes, absolutely. Marvel's Avengers Tower, which is a really iconic set. So
yeah, and I think the same things that drew me to the Avengers Tower, which were the overall display and the color and the layout of the set, is the same thing that drew me to this set. Mm-hmm. I think the presentation and the color scheme within it is cool. Because, for the most part, I think we talked about this last time with Marvel one. What's fun about playing with a building?
Right.
But in terms of how the building is presented, I think it looks fantastic. It looks like an actual building you would see in Greenwich Village. That's where the Sanctum Sanctorum is theoretically located in Marvel's New York City.
It's not there in real life?
There's a real address for it.
Is there?
Yeah, the building doesn't look like this, but there is a real address for 177A Bleecker Street.
That would actually be really cool if they had the big eye of, Agamotto?
Oh, yeah, at the top of the
building.
At
the top of the building? That would be really cool.
To look like something like that, yeah. Well, oddly enough, a quick digression is, I have this displayed on a shelf. I have a built-in bookshelves in my home office, and this is on a shelf with a friend set with the two boys, the boys' apartment, the girls' apartment, and Central Perk.
Okay.
And those in real life are 6 blocks away from each other, maybe less.
Oh, really?
So I have them next to each other like it's my own little Greenwich Village.
You've got your tiny little New York City.
Right
well,
there.
I was going to say, then where's your Avengers Tower?
It's across the street. It's uptown.
Okay, got it. That makes sense.
But it's a glorious looking set. I think the color schemes with it really work well to give it a little bit of vibrancy, but not have it look like just some building with random colors attached to it. It's got nice flourishes in the back. There's a portal into a basement door here. It's got Captain America poster for Captain America show that's happening down the Met down
Okay.
there. It's got a demon attacking on the side, Demon Gargantos, which is one of my favorite parts of this for how it looks. I'm like, this demon coming in on the side it just looks fantastic, right?
Which, and honestly, for if you don't know much about this set, this came out in conjunction with 2022's Doctor Strange, the Multiverse of Madness.
Correct.
And that was one of the main villains in the very beginning of the movie with him and America Ferrera,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Yeah, so and then let's get into the minifigs because it'll kind of explain what's going in there. So this set comes with 9 minifigs, and this is one of of 3 Doctor Strange minifigs. This is what they call Sinister Strange. He's got
Okay.
the little eyeball on his forehead. He's battling this demon here.
Bad guy Strange.
Yeah. So the other Stranges on this are the typical Doctor Strange. He's got his cloak of levitation. He's firing off beams. And then there is Zombie Strange, who has, ponytail, gross looking face. He looks like an actual zombie.
Right.
Other minifigs include there's a Spider-Man, there's an Iron Man.
But wasn't that minifig in the Marvel's What If?
Yes.
I was going to say, that was
Well,
not in the movie, was it? Or was
correct,
it?
because the Spider-Man and Iron Man and Ebony Maw are all from Infinity War.
Right.
Right, which is, if you remember, that's where
The first scene, honestly,
it
in
gets
Infinity
beamed
War.
into there. And then we can get into, well, I should say, and the other minifigs are Scarlet Witch, which is kind of a no Scarlet Witch without a cape, kind of not as great. And then there's Mordo from the first Doctor Strange movie,
The
right?
potential ongoing
Yeah.
villain,
And then there's Wong.
Wong.
Now, I should say, when this set first came out, there was also a Cull Obsidian with it, who is the big hulking guy. Looks kind of like a Hulk. That
The Ebony Maw's buddy.
Yeah. That one did not come with this. This is an updated set because I guess there were a couple of versions of Sanctum Sanctorum that came out.
That is true.
Doesn't have.
Hey, look at you knowing your Lego knowledge. I'm proud of you.
It didn't have that, and the previous version of Ebony Maw, like this one, just kind of is like a grayscale minifig. The previous version was like really pale white and looked disgusting, like he did in the movies. This one kind of a downgrade in terms
So
of
you were not a fan of Ebony Maw in this set.
what the minifig looks like. Yeah, it's just not as cool looking. It's all right, but it's not as cool looking. So 9 minifigs, pretty fun.
Yeah.
And then there are other outside flourishes with it that are pretty cool. I think we talked about it in the last one.
In the Avengers Tower, there was a dumpster, and
Yep.
turns out in the Sanctum Sanctorum,
In this one, the dumpster has some Coke left over with it, some gems with it, and a sign for Shady Acres Care Home, which, for those of you who liked Thor, Ragnarok is where he's got Odin stuck up, which is where the Sanctum Sanctorum also makes an appearance in that movie.
that's a
So
fantastic little Easter egg.
it's a great little Easter egg. It's got other stuff on here. It's got a fire hydrant. It's got a newspaper stand. It's got Spidey hanging out, looking at stuff. But the outside of it looks cool, and I think that's the thing that I think about with playability is it's of course a modular set, so you got to take it apart. It's not exactly begging for you to take it apart, which is one tough thing about playability. But it is pretty great.
You're good.
when
you can make noise. If you're listening on the podcast, Mike likes to take things apart on the podcast, which I totally am all for. It's just always kind of tough because these microphones like to pick up absolutely everything. So he's going to do his best to be careful.
That's
but
right.
I think it's important we dive into the interior of the Sanctum Sanctorum as well. So give us the description of the roof area.
Yeah, for as well as you can see it. You can't see it a lot, but the top of it is what they
I might
call,
throw up some pics or something.
Yeah, because the inside is cool, right? The inside has a real attention to detail. It's got nice flourishes throughout all of its appearances within Marvel movies and within the comics itself a little bit. And the top, they label it as a mystical collections, right? Like it's got things Strange would use to fight stuff with. So it's got axes up here. It's got helmets. It's got chains. It kind of looks less like a mystical armament as much as like a torture attic sometimes.
That's his.
Where you're like,
that's his special attic.
is he? Who does he have up in the attic?
Mystical.
And it's weird. He's, it's not
There's
like
a giant window.
Yeah. So what are you looking at here?
A little bit exhibitionist.
It's got again from Ragnarok. It's got Thor's umbrella / hammer.
Right.
So it's stored up there, but it's got a bunch of mystical artifacts. But the key part of it is the window, which is, it gives it that nice little specific flourish that I don't think you would see just if you're building a normal set. But top floor, pretty great. I can't imagine Doctor Strange is hanging out much in the top floor.
I think he's probably in his study. Can I say from a Lego perspective, I'm always a huge fan of the sand green. That's that whole coloration of the roof itself, that light green color. I just think it always plays really well, especially on a building as an accent color. So that probably, for me, just like nerding out on the Lego level of it, I just love the color choices they made. And sand green's a more rare color, if you will. Not as much nowadays, but I think that adds a little bit more of an extra touch to it.
Agree. It disrupts the gray. It gives it more of an actual weathered look to it, just by being this natural color. Like, if you were building new, you would never have this color in a building, but in a faded brownstone building.
Or it's almost like that copper that has, like the Statue of Liberty, where it oxidizes and turns into that green, which that is actually the color they use when they make the Statue of Liberty sets for Lego, is the sand green.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that rusted over, weathered look. Yeah, and I mean, it's got other finishes on here too. Lego did its usual work where it has exterior brick buildings, so it doesn't look like it's a like a completely finished new building, but it's got some
all in the light grays, but at least the texture of the brick piece for sure.
Yeah.
What's on the next floor down?
The next floor down, they call it his library and portal, where if you see it in any of the movies, it is the area where it would be the equivalent of when Strange is talking to Thor and they're sitting in chairs, right? And they're sitting there conversing. This one has one of the... you're definitely going to need to put up photos of this one, because on the back, it's got a couple of...
little slide action
slides,
levers.
Because on the inside, he's got his library, and the library has a door that opens inside of it. Oh. And there's a portal. So there's a portal that theoretically goes into one of 3 dimensions that you have with it.
So that's a nice little playability feature. Yeah. So, I had no idea that existed. So there's actually 2 levers on the back. It looks like little full slides.
Yeah. So I have it set to show into space all the time.
Okay.
And then the other one is it shows into the desert and into the mountains, probably Kamartaj.
Which is another, like I say, there's a whole sequence of that in the movie itself where they're fighting and someone gets thrown into the desert, right? Isn't there a bad guy that gets...
Call Obsidian gets thrown into the mountains, into the snow area,
okay.
and he jumps up, gets his hand cut off.
That's right. That's right. Okay. Need to brush up on my Marvel movies.
Really, really dorking out when Marvel wasn't even cool anymore. But we're talking about.
I know.
It when it used
we're
to
like
be cool.
We're like, oh man, Phase 6. No. We're talking Phase 3 here. That's what we want to talk about.
And I really like the couches set up because it's got a glass of beer in between it, again a hint to Ragnarok when they're chatting with Thor and he's refills.
Refills magically.
And this level, you can see in the bottom, it's got a wide open space below it.
Yeah, it's hollow.
Yeah, because the main floor, I'm actually going to move this over here. The main floor has this grand staircase.
Okay.
And the staircase is by far the coolest looking floor in the whole...
Probably the most iconic part of the interior of the Sanctorum.
Yeah, so you can see in here, the stairs take up a good...
chunk of the whole set.
60% of the set or whatever. But the stairs have a really nice build out with the guardrails that go down the side. It looks great. It's actually stairs where you can position individual Lego figures on it, so it's not just stairs you're looking at, but they could actually...
Do you feel like it makes the first floor too cramped, or do you like, no, that's cool?
It could. I mean, the door opens inward, actually, so you can have it come in. Right. And there is room for the doors to actually swing in and not hit the stairs.
Okay.
And I feel like good on Lego for doing that, because you can have some houses where, in real life, where the door...
Right, as soon as the doors open, boom.
Correctly.
But there's no real atrium. It's mostly you go in and then the stairs go up. But it kind of sets up for some playable features there on the stairs.
Yeah. And then there's more stuff down on the first floor, which has at least in the atrium area, which has like another seating area. It's got displays in the wall.
Come back to the mic, Mike.
Sorry, I was trying to bring it over here. Thank you. It's got other like mystical artifact type things on the side, but then in the back is what is actually the thing that is cool about the set, but also impacts its playability, because then unless you take it apart, there's like a whole secret passageway in the back here where they're like storing stuff, right? They've got stuff back here that says Wong stuff. It says travel.
So behind the hole, for you listening on your podcast, behind the entire stairwell, there's probably only 4 to 6 at the top. It only looks like 2 studs wide, but as the stairs come out, there's basically it's all the hidden under the stairs stuff. So Wong's got all of his personal stash back there, is what you're saying.
Yep. Well, and there's some stuff from Strange as well back here that makes it look, like you would expect his magic house to look, where there's all sorts of stuff that's hidden in here, right? It's nothing is what it seems. There's a whole lot of, oh, this is here, what does this do? Oh, this is here, what does this do? I think there's a lot of thought that went into it, but it is a compact house, right? So, in a movie setting, it would expand on its own, right? Sure. And you would never see that the space automatically looks bigger inside than it would outside. Here, I have no magical abilities.
You're saying you have to suspend some belief?
Much to my chagrin, I have no magical abilities, no ability to have it expand naturally.
We need to get you a cape.
I know. Because then, there is a door that opens on the side here. This goes into his kitchen, essentially. There's a fridge in there that has actually some stuff in there. I might have a deli sandwich in there. I forget.
Of course.
And so that's fun, but you can't really get to it. Like, you can't even really take it apart to get to it and see it. It is dark in there. You'd have to, take off the whole back wall to see it.
What you're saying is it's a fun little build, but as far as playability goes, not super playable. Right. It's more Easter eggy.
Yeah. Now, in the back part here, I mentioned earlier there's a portal opening here. The portal does come off easily, so you can see in here. And in there, I believe it's like it's another mystical object, I forget what the book is in the first Doctor Strange movie that he's not supposed to read
where he's learning.
Yeah, it's chained up in here.
Okay.
So that's a nice little Easter egg in this specific thing where you're okay, I can see that. And then there's one other little hidden Easter egg, and it's actually underneath the stairs.
Okay.
And so you actually can't get to it at all.
You know what? Lego does that, though. They like doing that. So it's one of those, you can see the set, but unless you have owned and you are building the set itself, you just don't know this Easter egg exists. They're pretty... Yeah. There's a lot of sets that I own that are like this, but what's the Easter egg in this one?
And I believe it's 2 things. I think one's a cosmic cube. Oh. So it's hidden in there. And then there's another thing. It's the powerful mystical objects are hidden away in the basement. You're unable to get them.
They literally just have a cosmic cube.
Yeah. And if this set was built today, given the popularity of No Way Home, you'd probably build it with 4 levels.
Right, because you got the basement.
Because then you'd have the basement and you'd have more minifigs for that Spidey's had there and is keeping...
That would actually be really cool to have the basement, because then you could have the lizard, you could have Green Goblin, all those. That would be really neat.
Yeah. Where these are all these people who are just being stored here or whatever. And that would be a fun little update. I mean, you'd have to have Doctor Strange actually be popular for it to...
That is true.
Justify
Well,
it.
I mean, there is going to be another Doctor Strange movie coming here, next year, I think, right? Or in 2 years?
I think it's 2 years.
Okay, fair enough.
I think next year the only thing is Doomsday.
Yeah, and I'm sure they wouldn't do this with a set like this, but I can think back to Jabba the Hutt's palace and the Rancor pit. That's a great example of 2 completely different sets that are compatible with each other. It'd be neat. I think people would totally go for it if they had a thing where they could be Doctor Strange's basement.
Yeah.
And then it was compatible with the Sanctum Sanctorum.
Yeah, because then you would have the opportunity for the minifigs. It seems like within the Lego community is one of the things you really want. And then it's at least, 4 minifigs with it? It's 5? I forget
you make it a 1,000-piece set, 5 additional, 6 additional minifigs. You could even have a little Mary Jane and then Peter's buddy. Those are the type of things that make perfect sense to us, but I don't think Lego would ever do. It just doesn't work. I don't know. Don't get me started on that. But
and with this set too, I don't remember if you mentioned, but it's 2,700 pieces, and it is large, and it shows those 2,700 pieces. It's not one say a Taj Mahal or a Pyramid of Giza, where it's just like building little piece upon
One
little
by
piece,
brick.
little piece.
Yeah.
It's actually, there's a fair amount of 2
It
by
feels
2s.
much more like a modular versus, say, an architecture set.
Yeah, it's got a fair amount of 2x2s, but there is, it doesn't feel like there's any wasted pieces in it, which I appreciate. It has character with it too. I don't know if I showed you here, but it's got graffiti on the back walls, like it's typical from New York City.
Do you know, honestly, the set that reminds me the most of is the building portion of Gringotts. In the Harry Potter Gringotts bank, you got the whole mine area, obviously, but the actual bank itself feels very much like that. It's playable, but it's got those fun little flourishes that go with the stickers, even though there are a lot of stickers on this. Did you know there are 45 stickers on that set?
I did know because I put them all on.
And did you love that experience?
Well, a lot of the stickers go on what I would call, knickknacks within the building itself. I think there's only 5. No, the graffiti is a lot of stickers, but I can't remember if it's one sticker.
Which
I
again
think it's one sticker.
Feels very Gringottsy.
Yeah. But most of the stickers are for individual things. It's for this magical item or this magical item. So it's not like it's, they're just covering their butts with,
Good save.
With a lot of stickers that would
This is where
cover
I
up
think
some...
I do. Nope, not the applause for that save. Good job. This is a family friendly
Thank you.
channel, Mike.
Is it family friendly?
It is. I do my best not to share anything.
Is this what parents show their kids when they're in trouble or something?
The point
like
is, it's not that they show it to them when they're in trouble. It's that they could if they want to. We try to go PG or lower here.
Okay. Yeah, and I would think this is like...
We're not PG-13, so you do not get your one F-bomb. That does not get to work in those ratings. This is current MPA rating standards, not the 1980s either.
Well,
not 1980s PG.
Again, you could see it, and somebody's like, "Oh, I want to watch the Lego show." I don't want to watch the Lego show. I was good,
Yeah, right.
I don't want to watch the guy talking about how angry is at Lego.
I tell you what, maybe when I buy Gizmo and we review Gizmo, we can do the 1980s PG standards for Gizmo, because then we could just violence language and whatever we want.
Well,
because
technically,
it was the 80s.
are they releasing? They're not releasing any Gremlins. It's just Gizmo, right?
It is literally just Gizmo.
Yeah, it feels like a miss to not only have Gizmo.
You
without
wanted
Gremlin.
Spike too?
Yeah.
Or maybe the Spider Gremlin?
Oh, well, then you're getting into Gremlins too.
That's fine. I'm just saying it's a little scary. And I don't know. Yeah, longtime listeners have seen when I talked about Gizmo, this is the guy who terrorized me when I was younger. And the reason I have to sleep with all of my closet doors closed still here into my 40s. Thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. We are digressing for sure. But
you're welcome.
To talk about Gremlins.
I mean, you'd almost see... I'm surprised they haven't included some kind of mystical creature in here besides Gargantos, right?
Yeah.
Where it's you could definitely see a gremlin just popping out of the bottom of the stairs or something. Or you could see... What I was surprised they didn't build in the set almost was some kind of mechanism that would have a reaction, right? If you went to remove a magical object, does then a spike come down, or does it disappear behind a wall?
Again, going back to Gringotts, or you get the chalice and all the other chalices start to fall. Some type of additional playability feature that you could include. You're saying that you don't feel like they took many risks here.
Yeah, it's a really solid set. I don't feel like there's really any missteps except for the minifigs. I would have loved to have gotten the set that had Cull Obsidian, and I do think they should have included an ancient one. I don't know why you wouldn't have included ancient one or Rintra. Rintra's, for real Doctor Strange heads out there, they all know he's the other apprentice that he's got with Wong. Rintra's a bull. There's your one. Rintra's a big bull who's he actually looks like a bull, and he's a magician, wears clothes and everything.
Okay. I actually didn't remember who Renfra was, so thank you.
Rintra.
Sorry, Renfra.
Renfra. What kind of name is Renfra?
It's-
Who would name their magical cow Renfra?
It's Leviosa. My bad. That is on me. Well, while Mike tries to put this back together, I'm going to give you just a couple other specs so you know. Those 9 minifigs, as far as Lego goes, 7 of them are unique to this set. So they are either updated, they're pretty much updated printed pieces, kind of like Ebony Maw. Only Doctor Strange and Wong have repeated in other sets. So that Doctor Strange they have in this set, that's in 6 other sets, and Wong itself is in 3 other sets. But a pretty decent lineup. Like I said, we talked about the 45 stickers. This set, in case you are wondering, is... I think my specs are wrong. How tall do you think that set is, Mike? About, I think, 16 inches?
Yeah, I actually think when you get to the top of the chimneys, it's like 18 inches.
Okay,
yeah,
18 inches. I think my measurements here that I pulled were wrong, but it's about 18 inches tall, probably about 10 to 12 inches wide, and probably, I mean, it's on a 16 by 16 base plate, essentially. So you can kind of get the idea. It is the size of a regular modular.
Yeah, it's definitely a set that looks larger than it actually is. So I think the display aspect of it feels really nice, right? But it can fit into a compact space if you needed it to.
Okay. And then let's talk price, because when this set came out, it was on shelves for $250. I will tell you, current 6-month averages, and obviously this is there's a range in here on sold listings, has it used at $210.
Yeah.
And then has it new at $262. But obviously there's a range in there. So you want to tell us a little bit about your experience getting this set?
Well, everybody has lessons they learn in life, right?
That is
and
true.
I think my lesson is to not swim in Lego waters without having taken Lego swimming classes.
Okay.
And
I call that the Tower Bridge lesson.
Yeah. So, I reached out to the one Lego expert I have in my family, and I was like, hey, how do I find this set? Because I started actively looking for the set, like, last January.
And what did David say?
Yeah. I started looking for the set, like, last January. And as you noted earlier, its end run was December. And I think most places it actually wasn't even around anyway. Like, I looked around quite a bit.
Like, you went to, like, a Bricks and Minifigs?
Usual retailers, and most of them didn't have it.
Right.
I think it had already been scooped up.
Yeah.
So you gave me some site to look at, and I thought you were actually having a stroke, because I didn't remember what the site was at all, and I'm like, that's not a real thing.
I would have probably told you Bricklink or Brick Owl.
No, I don't think it was either one of those, but it's also funnier to say you had a stroke.
I don't think
we're getting older. I'm sure that's a totally funny joke.
Yeah, that's great. Other people are like, no, that's not funny at all.
But I went and just settled for eBay, because there's a lot of these that are available on eBay. And I found one for, I think it was $275. And I was like, that's fine. It was unopened.
And that's within what we would say, it's within the margin of error.
Yeah. And I was like, if it's, I couldn't find anywhere, so I was like, okay. It's
Do you not purchase a lot on eBay?
No, I hardly ever purchase on eBay.
So you needed an eBay lesson as well, because I have learned many eBay lessons.
Yeah,
there are secret costs there.
I did not look at the shipping costs, and the shipping costs were $75.
I think it's this one that I want to give you right there.
Shouldn't it be like a wah wah or something?
Yeah, I don't have that sound effect.
You need a Nelson from The Simpsons.
Yeah, but go ahead.
So then with the shipping costs, it became one of those where I was like, do I want to spend this much money on it?
Yeah.
And I tried to back out of it and couldn't.
Yeah.
I was,
Well, and to ship a large set like that, it costs a lot of money.
Does it cost a lot of money? I can tell you, I work for a printing company, and I shipped an employee a printer, and it cost me $30 to ship a printer.
Well, no, that's what I'm saying. When I say a lot of money, I do mean like $30.
Yeah, it didn't cost $75, and I was like,
the dude charged you $75 for shipping?
And I was like, this is nonsense. I don't want this. And they're like, well, too bad. And I'm like, I cancel, and I went to eBay, and they're like, you already agreed to it. And I was like, I don't know. I should have done more due diligence, and it's my fault. I should have done more due diligence looking at the shipping costs.
Yeah, so
I did do the buy right away. I didn't get in an auction for it.
And I don't usually auction for stuff, honestly, when I'm on eBay. I do a lot of the buy it now options, or if you are, this is actually a good lesson for any of you listening in, because I do make a lot of purchases on eBay. I do actually some sales too. First thing you always look at is, shipping, because a lot of times in the buy it now, that is actually the next thing I go down to. Do they include shipping, or do they have a set rate for shipping? Because shipping rates will vary for sure. And so that's one thing you check. And then if you're going to the buy it now, always check to see if they have a make an offer option. So I very rarely, unless I know it's a really good deal, if I know that they are trying to get an extra, some just change from me, I will make an offer on a set. And I would say about 50% of the time that offer is accepted.
Yeah, this was my fourth offer on one.
Oh, okay.
So by then I was like, I'd already gotten the shakes.
And had it
and I'm
just
like,
freshly retired?
Yeah. Like I said, I think I got it April. I looked around for about 3 months for one. I'd put in offers on three different versions on eBay. Hadn't gotten any of them.
Yeah.
And was finally just kind of fed up and got.
You're just like, I just want this.
I want that one, and then.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, and that happens too. I think a lot of times, often when Lego retires, that first 6-month period, there is that rush of people who go, oh, shoot, I didn't get it, and I want to get it, and I want to get it before the price really shoots up. But a Lego set that's retired will typically stabilize within 6 months. Now, the hard part is, where does it stabilize? Does it stabilize within your margins of what you want to pay or not? So that was the gut you were trying to take. And who knows if you could get it for $210 today used.
My guess is probably not. My guess is other people are probably seeing that and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna grab that."
Usually, that also means it may not come with instruction manuals or things like that. Did you buy that new in box?
New in box.
Okay, so new in box, $262.
Yeah, I was like, that's $275.
That's
I was fine with that.
Oh yeah, if you were paying under $300 for this new in box nowadays, and that's post shipping, I still don't think you're doing terribly.
No, it was really just the extra $75. Really,
fair.
Where I was like,
so you learned some lessons.
I did. I paid $75 for those lessons.
I'm gonna stick to. I'm pretty sure I would have recommended for you to go check out BrickLink or BrickOwl because they're probably the most realistic on what its actual value
and
is.
I think I did. I don't think they had any.
Oh, okay.
Which would have been probably, if I would have waited probably another 5 months, I'm guessing
you
I would have found some then.
And that's the other problem with someone like Brick Economy is another good one when you're looking at Lego values for what you're trying to get a set, because you may still purchase on eBay, but you use a site like Brick Economy to say, am I overpaying or is this a really decent deal?
Yeah. So I mean, one of the results of that was that one of the other sets I wanted, and I think you've got, is the DeLorean. And I was like, I don't know how much longer they'll have the DeLorean.
She's sitting right over there, man.
And I was like, I'm going to go grab the DeLorean now because it feels like a set that will probably be retired at some point here soon.
I will say,
I'll just grab it.
Yeah, and that's not a bad call. I will say it's funny, though, with some of the themes, like cars in particular, the price increase on those, especially for like the DeLorean's been out for a long time, you probably wouldn't pay that much over MSRP for that one. So as long as you're not going crazy on it.
Are you sure? Used cars cost today is really, it's skyrocketed. Inflation is up, and it's really hitting the used car market. 6% year over year.
I've heard. Yeah, things could change in the next year, but that is my guess. Hey, before we end this episode, thank you first off for being on. I really appreciate it. I like that we could get the little Gremlins thing in there as well.
I'm glad to be the warm-up guest, because soon you'll have guests that can actually drive more Lego audience for you, people who are actually Lego experts and people want to tune in to see, right?
Well, it's funny. I don't know actually what day we are going to post this because I do alternate. So you might actually be before or after, because I'm doing other Lego interviews as well with the BrickLink Designer Program. So that's really, really cool. In fact, some things have already been recorded. So I don't know when it's going to air, but I will tell you, I got big stuff coming, interviews with set designers, things like that. But some things have been finished. They're just not live.
Happy to be the first pancake.
I love it. I love it. But hey, we always, like I say, we do a set rating, and that's on playability, displayability, build experience, value, and the overall rating. And this is your set. You got to tell me, playability, what would you give this out of 10?
Well, and I think I said this last time, 48-year-old man, I don't necessarily play with the Legos a lot, but some of the things that are obfuscated within it that are hard to access
what a great word.
Are challenging. So I put the playability at a 7. I think it's a glorious looking set, but it does take some determination to take it apart and look at it.
Okay, fair enough. Displayability.
A 10. I mean, I bought it for the displayability. Yeah. It holds a special place right there when I'm looking at it. It's Avengers Tower on my left and the Sanctum Sanctorum on my right. Those are the two things I.
It brings you joy when you walk into your office and you go, "Oh, this is nice."
Marie Kondo would be like, "Well done."
You may keep these.
Yes.
It brings you joy.
Yes.
Good. And then build experience. How was that out of 10?
It's a 10. It's a great set to build. It wasn't
even with the stickers.
Yeah. Well, I probably don't have the same bugaboos about the stickers that you do at this point. I probably don't build enough Lego to really have that. I look at it as more of like, I want the sticker to look perfect. I haven't really thought as much about why did they use this sticker. If I built more, I would probably think about that more. But I don't think it's a nasty repetitive set to build either.
Oh, good.
There's enough divergence within each floor as you're building it that once you've hit your limit in terms of, oh, this is the 15th version of this brick I'm putting in,
right,
then it's on to something else. So I think it's a good build.
And I like that you say that too, because you're right. The sticker experience is a small portion of it. I think the things that get me about stickers is, one, I'm like you. I want it on there perfect. And if I do screw it up, it really makes me mad, because if you pull the sticker off and try and re-stick it on, that sticker is not going to last. And even if you have stickers, I have sets now that are more than a decade old, and some of those that I've even taken care on those stickers, they're starting to peel back.
Yeah.
So it's really important. That goes to storing your Lego correctly, displaying them in a place where the sun's not going to get them, stuff like that. But I think that is my shtick when it comes to stickers. So, okay. And then finally the value, which you're a little jaded on value. If you had bought this on the shelf,
I think it's a 9,
sure,
right? I think it's a great piece for, what's this value? What's the ratio you use, the brick per dollar?
Price per piece, which true Lego aficionados will tell you. You do the value based on the weight of the plastic. That's more accurate, but price per piece is it's really easy to calculate. So we tend to say 10 cents is a nice average. Now here in 25, I would honestly say 11 cents per piece.
Yeah, in today's economy,
is more of the average.
In today's economy, the sticker price, I think it's a great set. I obviously paid a little more for it.
Yeah,
so
because I believe at this one it's 9.2, so that's actually really good.
It's really good, and I think it's always represented one of the best values. What I want to look at next is maybe the X-Men Mansion, and look at that. And that one strikes me as a similar type of setup where you're looking at a good price per piece, good display.
I'll be interested in your thoughts on that once you get it, though, because I feel like that's a little small for a mansion.
Yeah, and that's where I haven't looked at it too well. Yeah, for a mansion, especially given how it.
You're going to look at it and you're going to put it next to your Sanctum Sanctorum and be like, really?
It's more of like
a mansion?
Just a McMansion.
Kind of a bungalow.
Yeah.
A suburban mansion. So, but if you're saying if you had it new on
it'd be
shelves, 9, but
Mine,
with your current.
It feels more like 6.5 or something.
Okay. Which really, again, he basically paid the 2025
I paid the
version.
I paid a premium for it.
Yeah,
and
there you go. Which, if I'm doing my math correctly, puts us right around an 8.5 out of 10. So ultimately, you're saying this is a pretty good set.
Yeah.
You would recommend it.
Yeah, I think it's one of my favorite sets, beyond the Avengers Tower and the Murano.
Nice. Well, good. I think that's good. You heard it here first. Well, or maybe you haven't because you've seen this set for many years. But I think it's worth taking a good look at. It is such a spectacular set. As far as Marvel sets go, I would probably put it as top 5.
And look how pretty it is. Look at that monster side. And
even with the gray, it still looks good.
Yeah, and it's got accented with the tan lines in there. And but it helps then set this apart and pop, right?
Yeah.
Like. Yeah. I generally have this part sitting against the wall.
The monster half?
Yeah, but it's like if I had it turned this way, it would still
look okay.
See.
Yeah. Which sometimes Lego doesn't do the best job of making sure the backs of their buildings or the side of their buildings look good. So it's definitely good to know. So anyway, like I say, I appreciate you coming on. It was fun. Second time. We're getting a little better at this. Maybe next time we'll be with the X Mansion. Who knows? Every time I want to review a Marvel set, I'm like, all right, Mike, you got to come over here because Marvel's not my area.
Well, someday maybe I'll unbox my Daily Bugle and build that thing. And
do that. Yes, you do the Daily Bugle. I'll definitely will have you back on. So, and then leave me a comment below. Do you like this kind of interview process? Do you want to see more of these style of reviews? The feedback is vital. So I absolutely love it. And I just love the interaction. If you leave a comment, I do my best to try and get back to all of them within about 24 hours. So definitely leave a comment. Leave a comment for Mike. Let him know how much of a jerk he is for scaring me with gremlins. And beyond that, maybe a thank you too for taking time out of his day to review an amazing set with us. So again, thank you, sir. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, so thanks.
All right, man. And with that, until Monday, we come back to you and talk to you about some more crazy news and rumors. We'll just have to catch you on the next one. We'll talk to you later, y'all. Bye-bye.